Hello and welcome to episode 45 of the Canas podcast.
The Jonathan Bernier episode.
And the Braden Colbert episode.
Braden Colbert? He's Canadian?
Yeah.
Oh. I actually did not know that.
Yeah. There's other, there were some guys with, North American sounding names on there that were also 45.
Yeah.
But they were from Czech Republic, apparently.
That's weird.
Or Czechia.
Yeah. That's really weird.
Anyways, This week's episode we'll talk about World Cup footy.
Yep.
We'll talk about, what else? Tennis.
Yep. Some individual footy news, too.
Individual footy news, yeah. Some hockey. And then
we'll try not to, take half the podcast of just talking about hockey.
I think, honestly, there's nothing different from last week to this week in the hockey world. Nothing.
We can talk about the Oilers a little bit, but that's it, really. It's basically the same, yeah.
And then, that's about it, I think. So
let's go straight into footy.
Straight into footy. Canada lost all 3 matches in the World Cup, have the second worst goal differential. The second worst record in the World Cup this year, so that's the negative way of looking at it, I guess. But I only view it as a positive. First off, we qualified for the World Cup.
First time in
36 years.
So
we played Belgium, the number 2 team in the world, very well. Although Belgium is not looking like a good team after Croatia and Morocco. They looked awful against both of them as well. And we scored our first ever goal.
And it was a beautiful goal.
An own goal. It was a real goal.
It was a beautiful goal.
The second goal was an own goal, but
yeah,
the first one was not. Alphonso Davies made up for his penalty miss and scored our first ever goal a minute and a half into the Croatia game, even less, 65 seconds in.
Something around there. Yep.
So, not bad.
No.
Not bad. Lots of positives to take out of this. Lots of learning opportunities for Herdman especially, and I think the team as well. Buchanan could have played better. Mm-hmm. He didn't show his best foot forward. Alphonso Davies everybody could have played better, but I think I don't think it's as much of a lack. I don't think it's a lack of effort at all. I'm
guessing it's just nerves. Yeah,
I think the nerves got to them, and the moment got to them.
Yeah,
and I think they now are learning what it's going to take to be competitive on the world stage. So, there is news that they're in conversations with Contembool to play in the next Copa America.
Ooh.
So it'll be,
that's going to actually be really
Canada,
good experience.
Mexico, and the United States will be a part of that. It looks like they will also likely be a part of the next Confederations Cup, where the winners of the Euros, the Contembool, the Copa America, Africa, Asia, all of them will compete in the Confederations Cup, which will be a big one. So that's also fantastic. And then there's going to be the Nations League and the Gold Cup coming up next. So for me, I think a realistic expectation is for Canada to win either the Nations League or the Gold Cup before the next World Cup happens.
Honestly, it'd be kind of cool if they do go to the Copa America just to play Canada versus Peru, or both our countries. So
that'll be tough. I hope they're in different groups. I hope they meet in the final, so at least we get to cheer that one of our teams won the Copa America.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. It will be interesting to see. Yeah. So there's lots of potential growth happening for Canadian footy for sure. And on the individual side, like we said, if a successful World Cup would be if any of our players moved from the MLS to Europe.
Anywhere in Europe,
in a big league. We said I said Kamal Miller would be the easiest bet, the best bet to move from Montreal to a Premier League team is what I was thinking, or even a championship team that can move up to the Premier League.
Yeah.
But it turns out that it's Alistair Johnston, our right back, who was unfortunately named to the worst 11 in the World Cup. But I think he played against Perisic, Modric, Perisic, Eden Hazard, and Hakimi. Those are the 3 guys he had to defend. 3 of the best in their positions in the world. And that's good for him. Also, Ronaldo was named to the worst 11.
So he's joining good company in the worst 11. Yeah.
So he'll be playing for Celtic. And
nice. That's a good team.
Yeah, that's going to be huge because of the European football and specifically the UEFA Champions League.
Yes.
He will be playing there. So fingers crossed to see how it goes over there. I think he can compete well. He's got Scottish roots. which is fantastic for him. His family lives out there, so he's really excited about going back to visit some of his
closer to family.
Some of his family. I think some of his family has to also live in Ontario, though. You know, like he's there. He was born. He was like raised in Ontario as well. But anyways, his dad's side, from what I read, so that'll be nice. I think Kamal Miller is the next to potentially make a move. I feel very strongly that he's one of our best.
I'd laugh because you said Kamal Miller before, and then Alistair Johnston went, and then you're saying Kamal Miller now. It'd be funny if someone else went.
Well, Sam Adekubke is already in Turkey, and he did okay. Richie Larea had a really good game against Belgium.
He did, yeah.
Pretty good against Croatia as well. For a team that was pretty bad overall against Croatia, Richie Larea did pretty good. So I'm hoping Nottingham Forest noticed that and maybe calls him back up. And he actually, they call him back in after his loan to TFC and just go from there. Because, we need more people playing European, in the European football, man.
Even in the lower divisions, at least
even if it's a championship, but the biggest teams there's the last 16 right now. I'd say 90% play over in Europe, right? It's a big Mexico. Half their team isn't there because they're half of them are in the other MLS. The States, bunch of their players playing the MLS. They got knocked out right away by Netherlands, and it wasn't even close.
No.
It wasn't close at all.
No, it wasn't close at all, no.
So, there's a lot of growth that we need to do in order to,
improve our
there's a lot of growth that Canada can keep on doing. But it's only been in an upwards trajectory recently, which has been very nice. So, very happy to see that. But, anyways.
So, all in all, none of our bold predictions came true.
No.
No,
I wasn't even close.
You were closer than me.
Yeah, I mean, your bold predictions were freaking bold, though, dude. That was
That's true.
I was at least playing it a little safe.
I was just... Felix and Chapo winning a major.
Or Bianca and
Layla. Yes, I did say men's and women's. And then Latifi or Stroll getting...
Although, technically, will the Davis Cup count as a major tennis event?
If we count international,
then you won. Then you're right. You know what? I'll allow it.
Yeah. Okay.
Moves us perfectly to our segue. Canada has
won king right here.
The Davis Cup.
They did.
The biggest international tennis tournament. Canada has won it, so they've won the ATP Cup this year in January, and then the Davis Cup this year in December.
That's so weird.
And by December, I mean November.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's so weird that it's you see it as different different ends of the calendar year, but it's 2 months away.
Yeah. Well, Canada began and finished 2022 on the top of the tennis world in the men's side. That's a pretty cool way.
That is yeah.
That's a pretty because the ATP Cup at the beginning of the year they beat some big competition.
Did, yeah.
The Davis Cup wasn't as big. Berrettini didn't play for Italy in the singles, so that was tough. He played for the doubles, but he lost them the match. And then who did they play before that? Germany? They played Germany in the quarters, then Italy in the semis, and then Australia in the finals. You know who's in incredible form right now? It's Felix Auger-Aliassime.
Yes, he's
out of this world good right now. Denis Shapovalov played okay, not fantastic, but he won the match he was supposed. If we had to take it to doubles, Australia wins the Davis Cup. They have the number 3 and 5 ranked doubles players in the world. We're not beating that. I'm sorry, that's not happening. No. But Chapo won the game he's supposed to. Felix did not have his A game, and he found a way of still beating de Minaur, who. de Minaur is not a bad tennis player at all. That guy has the potential of a top 20 spot for sure. Maybe pushing to top 15. But we'll see. The next big tournament in the men's circuit and the women's circuit will be the Australian Open. That happens in January of 2023. So we're coming up close.
Yep.
Coming up really close to
We're going to have to start giving our bold predictions for next year.
I agree. It'll be the next episode or the episode after. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, we'll think about them and maybe next episode, but definitely the episode after.
Oh man, we have to try to figure out one that would actually happen. Like, we'll see.
We'll see. We got time. We got time to think.
Would a bold prediction be a Canadian team winning the Stanley Cup this year? That'd be pretty bold, right? No, I think that's too broad.
It's bold since the two that were supposed to come out of the West aren't playing so well. So that could be kind of bold. And then Toronto having their first round demons. So I would allow it.
We'll see.
Yeah.
That's it for tennis, I guess.
Yeah.
Basketball, Raptors are just above 500. The fact that their injury bug is a freaking injury pandemic. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
They're like 2 or 3 games behind third in the East, so that's really good.
That's pretty good, yeah.
I know. That's it for them. The Blue Jays. I genuinely think the Blue Jays are going to get an ace pitcher and an all-star outfielder.
Well, to fill in for Hernandez?
Yeah, to fill in for Hernandez for sure. But a left-handed bat is going to come over here. And then a pitcher. They're getting one ace in here. I feel very strongly that the Blue Jays are in all-in mode right now, which I'm excited about. So that's about it for the Blue Jays, though. Like, there's nothing else.
No, not really.
Did we ever talk about the women's rugby making it to the finals of the World Cup this year?
Nope.
Well, they did. Good for them.
Good for them.
Yeah, they came close. It was against Australia.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know much about rugby, so
I don't either. But like, it's good.
It's good. Yeah.
Still mention.
Yeah.
Golf. We had a Canadian win a tournament recently.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did.
Right after that episode, we said, "Oh, Canadian hasn't won a tournament in so long." He must have heard it and just won the tournament that same
just
week.
randomly finds our episode on YouTube. It's like,
right?
What are you talking about? I'm going to win the next tournament, and then he wins the next tournament.
Yeah, right. That is brutal. No, and then I guess I've been trying to avoid hockey, but I guess it's time for hockey now.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, Stroll is still in his team in the F1 and Latifi's gone. So
yeah,
that's pretty much it for Canadians and in F1, I guess.
Yeah, and football, there's no Canadians making a difference really on their teams. Offensively speaking,
like defensively, NFL. Yeah.
Sorry, NFL. We don't talk about CFL.
I'm saying NFL.
The real American football.
I don't know why we hate CFL so much.
I do. I turn this freaking Grey Cup on for 5 minutes. I see 4 dropped balls, brutal incomplete passes, and missed tackles.
The missed tackles get me a lot, yeah. Like you see in the NFL, you do see some missed tackles here and there, but not as much as the CFL.
Not even close.
No.
It's embarrassing.
I want to like the CFL, but it's just, like you said, just the incomplete pass. Like, incomplete passes happen, but it's just the frequency that it happens. And then, yeah, like the missed tackles that happen.
Incomplete passes for me are different than just straight up dropped passes. So if it's an incomplete pass, it was like a tight throw and it's like barely missed, then I'm like, oh, okay, that was sick. But it was like, if it's a dropped ball with nobody around you, or a guy completely misses you when there's no one around you, that infuriates me. And that makes me turn the TV off.
Yeah.
So
I agree. Yeah. So until we see some improvement in those areas, then no CFL for us. Yeah.
Also, some big news out of Canadian or Edmontonian footy.
Oh.
FC Edmonton folded.
Yes, they did.
They didn't have good ownership for it, but they said that they plan on coming back to Edmonton in the near future.
Oh, that's good.
Hopefully, good management comes in.
There was just
good
ownership?
Fan base here. There was a good fan base.
Okay.
But their team was just bad.
Yeah, I thought it was just more like revenue, like no one really went. But I guess
bad.
Okay.
Owners didn't invest money into the team at all, and that's about it.
It didn't really like seem like it. Yeah, like I've seen like maybe some like posters along like the LRT or like some posters here and there in the LRT stations or whatever, but that's it. No, maybe like a radio like add here and there, but yeah, like I haven't really seen anything for.
Yeah, so we'll see.
So.
There's a lot that needs to happen. Like, you know, in South America and Europe, like every club team has its own developmental group and everything. Like, they need to start doing that and really incorporate, because there's a lot of talent here in Edmonton.
There is a lot of talent.
There's
here.
a lot of talent, and if they know how to build it right, and Alistair Johnston, David Wotherspoon, like these guys are showing that they can go from the Canadian Premier League to playing for the national program and then getting viewed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like once you just make the national team, that's basically like if you're not in the MLS, it's basically like a good chance that people will see you and then you might get scouted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right, I've been avoiding hockey. We might as well talk about it now.
Okay. Oilers, and they're okay. The game against Chicago when they're winning by a lot and then they almost came back to win it. Like you can't let that happen.
No.
Like I've noticed most of the time, and even in like the Minnesota game too, no one is like really playing defense. Like no one's really like forwards just like kind of not coming back to help out. Defense, I don't know what they're doing, but they're just giving them lots of shots, and obviously they're bound to go in. But
I'm looking at the games and I see they're losing the one-on-one battles, and that's what's making them lose. And also, this penalty kill is historically bad. Like
it's been improving though.
Kill. Yeah, they let in a goal every single game. Like, you're always going to be down 1-2-0 just because of your penalty kill.
Yeah.
Which puts a lot of pressure on the power play to score, which they don't usually score as much now this year. They're third.
They're still good, but yeah, like if the PK isn't really helping you defensively, I guess.
Although we do have injuries, and like half of our forwards are injured right now, which is detrimental to our forward depth that we had at the beginning of the year. But I mean, it's like obviously knock on wood. But McDavid, Draisaitl, Nuge, Hyman, they're still all healthy, so they're helping.
Yeah,
it's a big part. Nuge and Hyman are both point per game players this year so far, which is fantastic.
It is fantastic.
But we'll see. They play against
Montreal,
and then after that they have a couple of a tougher opponents again. But I don't know, man. They got to step up.
Well,
Toronto's getting much better. Like, they're playing really good. And they have, like, a really bad injury bug there with their number one... Both their goalies being out for a while, with their number one defenseman being out now for a few months at least. But Toronto's playing fantastic. But again, that's not out of the ordinary. Toronto's a fantastic regular season team. All the reports are saying that, oh, this is different. This team's different. This team's like, we're going to make it far this year. I'm like, dude, you said that the last 5 years.
Yeah, you guys always start off hot, and then you always finish really well.
Yeah.
And then it's just the playoffs that get you.
Calgary's goaltending is what's letting him down, like, significantly. You saw that Markstrom play that gave him the first goal last game.
Yep.
They asked him after. He's like, no, I just suck at hockey right now. I'm like, yeah, it's very fair.
At least he's now. Like, he knows it.
But I mean, the same thing can be said about Jack Campbell, who's not playing very well for Edmonton right now. The guy, you only want to cheer for him, you know? Like, you want to cheer for him, but he needs to figure something out. He showed in Toronto he can. He's a very streaky goalie, so hopefully he gets on a hot streak and then he gets his confidence up. But
yeah.
And then Ottawa just won against New York, which was a good comeback for them. They were down 2-1, like 5 or 6 minutes left in the game. Came back and won an OT. Really good for Ottawa, really bad for my fantasy team. Because Drake Batherson didn't score and Igor Shesterkin lost the win. So that sucks.
And then Montreal is surprisingly still doing pretty well.
Yeah, I was shocked by them.
They're like roughly like 2 games over 500, so...
Yeah.
With like what everyone expected them to be playing at, I'm pretty happy that they are at least like in the hunt so far for the wild card.
Yeah.
So.
And then Vancouver, they just lost Thatcher Demko for 6 weeks.
That's gonna be a big blow.
Yeah, I don't understand why they don't put him in IR already. That's so infuriating.
Is it just because of your fantasy team?
Yeah, it's just because of the fantasy team.
And then Winnipeg is playing like they're supposed to.
Connor Hellebuck
Yes.
is having a Vezina season this year. Connor Hellebuck is unbelievable at hockey right now.
Yeah, I'm happy that Winnipeg like bounced back. Like we were saying, sell the team, like just get assets and try to go for Connor Bedard. No, they're just going for
That team is still not going to be a good playoff team because that defense is trash.
Yeah, but I'm just happy that they're playing like they're supposed to.
They're playing much better.
Yeah,
yes.
they're playing like they're
the
supposed
offense
to.
is playing exactly how they're supposed to. Connor Hellebuck is playing exactly how he's supposed to.
Yeah.
100% agree. Yeah, but again, my biggest shock is honestly Calgary.
Yes.
I genuinely did not expect them to be doing this poor. I thought they were an exceptional team. I've said it from the beginning that they're a top 2 or 3 team in the West, and they're going to be. They should be considered a Cup favorite. Now they're going to step up. I have no question, no doubt about that whatsoever. They're going to step up and do a lot better for the season, but like, it's not looking good for them right now.
No. And I don't know what they're going to do in the trade deadline since they don't really have that many good assets to give up in order to get more players.
Yeah. So, I just think that I think the same thing for both teams. If Jack Campbell and Jacob Markstrom start playing the way that they can, Edmonton and Calgary become top teams in the West again. Calgary more than Edmonton because Edmonton's defense isn't as anywhere near as good as Calgary's defense. But Edmonton's offense is much better than Calgary's offense.
So it evens out.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see. If you were to, like, let's say it's the trade deadline, and you were trading for not just like any player, like a superstar, who would you pick?
Like, do a superstar that I think is realistic for us?
Yeah, like anybody, but a superstar, not just like a third, fourth liner.
Because I think you're trying to bait me for either Patrick Kane or Jonathan Toews.
Maybe. No, like, honestly, like, who do you think?
I want a defense.
Defense?
Number 1 shutdown defenseman to play with Darnell Nurse and to make a legitimate shutdown pairing. But a defense-first shutdown defenseman. Like, Pietrangelo.
Pietrangelo.
Well, obviously, we're not getting him by any means. But, like, I don't, like... Yeah, Chychrun would make our defense better offensively. Absolutely. Defensively, not a chance. It's about the same.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I want... Like, Barry is the one that needs to go.
It's kind of tough because, like, Pietrangelo, like you said, is in Vegas, and Vegas is obviously leading the Pacific, so it's kind of tough to, there's not many choices to pick from the lower teams.
Yep.
So.
It's very few.
Yeah.
But
I would say, like, it would be either one of Kane or Taves because obviously Chicago is not going to make the playoffs. They only have 6 wins in the season right now. And they're both wanting out, right? So Chicago's going to have to like retain a bunch of money anyway in order to trade any one of those two. And then that way we can even have like Taves as our second line center, move up like either Nuge or Draisaitl, and then our first 2 lines would be basically unstoppable. Or just if we do get Kane, then we can just put him on the first line with McDavid and stack the second line, and then with that kind of stack the third line, and then we'll have like a lot of depth in the
I don't disagree. I think we've become better players with either one of them, but I think our biggest glaring weakness is our
the defense. Yeah.
I don't even think it's goalie. I genuinely think Jack Campbell is better than what he's playing, and Stuart Skinner is playing Calder level hockey right now.
Yeah, like I'm not mad about the goalies. Yeah, because even if Campbell struggles, Stuart Skinner is still very good at what he's doing like right now. So.
The issue with Campbell is he lets in a couple goals at the beginning of the game, and usually because of like defensive blunders, and then his confidence goes to like garbage, and then he lets in weak goals.
Yeah,
like that's what's happening right here. And you know what? You're a professional athlete. Like you can't let that get to you too much. But again, how can you ever cheer against Jack Campbell? He's such a class act.
Mm-hmm.
Such a class guy. But, I mean, a $5 million a year goalie did go to the minors recently.
Yep.
Cal Peterson.
Yep. Honestly, would you send him down? Just
Jack Campbell? No, he's going to get picked up. Somebody picks up Jack Campbell.
Yeah, somebody will 100%. Pick up Jack Campbell.
Arizona, no, Vejmelka's playing unreal. Or Jamelka, whatever his name is.
Vejmelka.
Yeah, Chicago picks him up. Anyone. Somebody picks him up.
Yeah.
And then our other goalie is nowhere near as good as our third
Campbell.
stringer isn't as good as Campbell.
But then we have some cap space. No, I'm kidding.
We have cap space now with the long-term injury to Kane, which is actually genius segue by me.
Ooh.
He began skating.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's good.
So hopefully it's all
He's on
depends
his way
on
back.
how his wrist feels and moves and everything. But that's about it. But
well, at least he's on the ice, so it's one step closer to coming back on the team, and we really need him to come back on the team. So, so that's good. That's good.
Do we want to talk about our Ben Stelter Performer of the Week?
Sure.
Is there anything else that you wanted to point out before?
No, we can go straight to Ben Stelter Performer of the Week.
I don't have really anything else to share in regards to the world of Canadian sports recently.
No, me neither.
Okay. You went first last week, so I'm going to go first this week.
Good, because I have
last week.
Yeah, and I don't have anything right now, so I'll think about it.
My Ben Stelter Performer of the Week is going to go to Mitch Marner. He's on an 18-game point streak.
Dang.
The longest in a very long time. Now, he only has like 24 points in that 18-point streak. Danny Heatley had a 22-game streak where he had 50 points like 10 years ago. But still an 18-game point streak.
It's still good, yeah.
He kept it alive a couple games ago with an empty net goal with like 5 seconds left or something stupid. So, and he's starting to show up for my fantasy team. So this is all the reasons why he's my Ben Stelter.
It's just always revolving around your fantasy team.
Yeah, that's why I hate playing fantasy hockey, man. It's just, it makes me so angry. It makes me cheer for players I don't want to cheer for, you know? What?
No, I see that. I see that.
All right, how are you?
No, I'm not ready.
My honorable mention will go to Alistair Johnston moving out to Celtic. I know he was again named.
Dang it! Stop.
What? Was
no,
too?
that wasn't mine, but that was a good one too.
Honorable mention is Alistair Johnston going out to Celtic. He's going to make a big change, which will be nice. He was named to the worst 11, but I think that's a little harsh.
Yeah,
and it will be exciting to see what he does in Celtic. I hope he gets first team minutes. Their current right back is being linked to Atletico Madrid, so that's pretty huge. So if Alistair Johnston can play well, and then potentially get linked to like an Atletico or a Bayern or something, it will be nice. But
yeah,
he's good. He's got good offensive instincts, but he's more of like a defensive minded guy, which is a little tough for most leagues. But he can go up and down, and he can play. He can make smart plays. So, all right, I gave you 2 really good ones,
and I still don't have mine. Actually, no, I kind of do have mine. I'm gonna go with Nathan MacKinnon.
I hate Nathan MacKinnon, man. He fantasy hockey.
Again, rolls around your fantasy hockey. But no, Nathan MacKinnon is actually playing really well lately. Like, especially against Buffalo. He had a really good game. Like I said, against Buffalo. Like, I think in 5 games he already has like 7 points. So that's still pretty good. So yeah. Kind of a weak one compared to yours, but Nathan MacKinnon he's been playing really well for Colorado, so.
He had like a 5-point game last game, I think.
Yeah.
5 or 6. I have, for offensive players and defensive players, like for, I guess, forwards and defensemen, not including goalies, I have played against the highest point totals this year in Yahoo Fantasy. 3 weeks now. I played against Tage Thompson's 6-point night, 22 points. Plays Nathan MacKinnon the other day, who got 16.5 points against me. And then another one of what's-his-face's guys got a bunch of points. Fantasy hockey hates me. Jason Robertson.
Oh, Jason Robertson, yeah. He's having
11.7 points.
He's having a hell of a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's American, so. Yeah.
Boo! Oh, and great news for Canada. The U.S. got eliminated for the World Cup.
Yeah.
Woo!
Anyway,
Okay.
I think that's it.
That's everything, I think, for today's episode. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And I don't see why we won't record episode next week.
Yeah, we'll record next week, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
We should be fine.
Canas podcast. We talk
Oh
sports.
my god.
Canadian sports.